Broadcasting Commission for public awareness. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari says the adoption of information and communications technology in public service delivery in the country is no longer a luxury but a pressing necessity. The president stated this while granting audience to executive members of various information technology professional groups in Nigeria. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
Information technology is the driving force for social and economic change.
The future, President Muhammadu Buhari emphasized, belongs to information technology, saying what was unimaginable 20 years ago is today a reality. This, he said, informed his administration's numerous policy decisions and substantial investments in the critical economic sector. As the president explains, the intention is to ensure that the benefits of what he called technology-driven age is felt by all the nearly 200 million Nigerians.
Indeed, our strategy for inclusive economic growth can only be achieved by leveraging the technology tools available to us. Already, we have seen the benefits of using technological tools to fight corruption and reduce leakages and inefficiencies in public service delivery.
The federal government, he also said, is leveraging technology platforms to boost agricultural production, battle pockets of insecurity in parts of the country, as well as impact the lives of the less privileged through the social investment programs.
For us, technology in public service delivery is no longer a luxury. I therefore request that you all continue to partner with government at all levels to ensure the benefits of this tool is realized and at the same time its threats are eliminated.
On the visit include the Computing and Information Technology Professionals and Community in Nigeria, the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Computer Society. Professor Charles Uwadia, who spoke on their behalf, appreciated President Buhari for his commitment to the improvement of the lives of the people through information, communication technology, and digital economy.
Your Excellency, we the IT professionals commend you for the immense and giant strides that your administration has made and is still making in nation building. Within the space of the past 4 years, you have achieved a lot, deepening IT in Nigeria due to the realization that ICT is a tool for empowerment of Nigerians and eradicating poverty. I wish to assure His Excellency that relevant agencies such as NIDA, NOTAP, BPE, and other professionals in the IT sector will continue to cooperate and collaborate with one another to move our dear nation to the next level.
He enumerated the effective implementation of the Treasury Single Account, increasing government revenue by over 3 trillion naira, entrenching transparency and accountability, diversifying the economy, as well as ensuring security and fighting corruption, leveraging on the enabling power of the ICT as some of the notable achievements recorded by government. While making a case for an import tax on all software imported into Nigeria to fund local software development activities, the IT professionals formally invited President Muhammadu Buhari to be the Chief Marketing Officer for Made in Nigeria software. From the State House, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
And from ICT to politics, as the People's Democratic Party, the country's main opposition party, grapples with deeply troubling questions about its terminal decline in future in national politics, Nigerians must be surprised reading a statement issued by them, assuming the role of spokesman for President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, quote, "What business do they have talking about alleged love lust between President Buhari and the APC? What do they know? Who sent them? They need to go back to the people in towns and villages to know what the people want and what the country needs. Instead of doing that, they are taking roles for themselves, not mandated by law, morality or political gamesmanship. As for the APC, the geographical expansion of the party is nothing short of a testimony to the rosy future that lies ahead. The party has come to stay, and the president and the country will ensure that this is achieved. Unquote. Now, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has directed the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, to immediately implement measures aimed at repositioning the broadcast industry with a view to bringing sanity to the sector. This was contained in a statement by the minister, signed by his special assistant on media, Segun Adeyemi.
The minister said the directive has become necessary following the submission of the report of the committee which was set up to work at modalities for implementing the recommendations approved by President Muhammadu Buhari to reposition the broadcast industry in Nigeria. This move, Lai Mohammed explained, is necessitated by the satisfactory report of the committee, which was very professional and detailed. Hence, the directive to the Commission to take necessary measures to effect the implementation of the various provisions contained therein. This directive covers the provision for the regulation of the web and online television and radio, regulation of international broadcasters beaming signals into Nigeria, hate speech, human resources, and staff welfare, funding for the reforms implementation, monitoring, independence of the regulator, and ease of issuing licenses, as well as competition and monopoly issues are part of the recommendation. Other highlights of the minister's directive include new regulations to compel broadcasters to utilize the content and services of Nigerian independent producers in fulfillment of the regulatory requirements for 70% local content, rather than current abuse of the rules, which allow many loopholes for the production of such content in jurisdictions outside Nigeria. This, the minister upheld, will empower local producers with proper funding and investment, enhance foreign collaboration, develop the local industry, raise the standard of local productions, and ultimately lead to job creation. The new regulations will also ensure that content producers are paid promptly for adverts and sponsored content placed on all TV, radio, and broadcast platforms. The rule is to also ensure that production of adverts are localized to create and promote local production, and where it is not, it will attract charges every time such an advert is aired, with the charge being put into fund to help develop local expertise in production. For musical content, the new regulation will ensure that broadcasters are prevented from illegal and unpaid use of musical works without payment of the applicable license fees and or royalties required by musical right owners. Similar provision will prohibit exclusivity of sporting rights in Nigeria, as a new regulation now mandates broadcasters and exclusive licensees to share such rights with other broadcasters to boost reach and also maximize utilization by all broadcasters of premium content in order to grow their platforms and investment in other content. This regulation prevents the misuse of monopoly or market power or anti-competitive and unfair practices by a foreign or local broadcaster to suppress other local broadcasters in the television and radio markets. Having removed exclusivity from all content in Nigeria and mandated the sharing of all content upon payment of commercially viable fees, the statement maintained. Expressing confidence that the new regulations, which are due to come into effect this month, will re-energize the broadcast industry, deliver real value in the sector, and grow the creative industry for the benefit of all practitioners.
I suppose that's good news for all media practitioners. And now we head to Ogun State, where for the first time since the inauguration of Prince Dapo Abiodun as governor of the state, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has paid an unscheduled visit to the governor at his office in Abeokuta. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said the visit was to felicitate with the governor on New Year and discuss issues bordering on the development of Ogun State.
What have I come here to do? I have come to say Happy New Year to the governor. And then, of course, I haven't been here since he has been here, to welcome him to his seat and to raise a few issues that I believe are of interest to the development of Ogun State in the area of, what will you say, education, agriculture, rural development, that sort of thing. And we have a wonderful, wonderful discussion.
And your assessment of the governor's performance?
No, I have not come here to do assessment. I've come here to do promotion of what will move Ogun State forward.
And now to promotion of another kind. Nigeria is benefiting immensely from the activities of the Niger Basin Authority. This was disclosed by the Ministry of Water Resources at a workshop for revitalizing the River Basin Authority network of journalists and communicators in Nigeria. Austin Anyebe was there for NTA News.
Water is a great resource to humanity and even serve people better if the resources therein are properly managed and harnessed for development. This is what informed the establishment of the Niger Basin Authority by 9 countries in West Africa who share common water boundaries, of which Nigeria is one. The national focus sponsor of the workshop, Mrs. Alice Ojowu, who spoke on behalf of the Minister of Water Resources, said Nigeria has benefited in the area of rehabilitation of the Kainji and Jeba dams from the Niger Basin Authority. She mentioned that through the Niger Basin Authority, Nigeria has been able to step up effort in data collection for flood management and enjoin journalists to educate Nigerians about the positive impacts of the Basin Authority on the nation's development.
We've got the intervention to rehabilitate Kainji and Jeba dams in Nigeria. Through that intervention, we've been able to add about 340 megawatts to the national grid.
To sustainably manage the water resources within the territories of member countries and preserve the ecosystem, the capacity of journalists needs to be built.
We can count on his support to enhance NBA's performance and realize our common development ideals for the benefit of the 160 million people living in the Niger Basin.
Issues like flood, water pollution, deforestation, and desertification are areas journalists are expected to educate and enlighten the people on. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
And now to education matters. With a few days to the commencement of registration for the 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and direct entry by would-be candidates, the head office of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, is witnessing an upsurge of candidates who want to sit for the examination. Olainka Uju reports that this is also what is being experienced in some parts of the country.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, last year made having national identification number compulsory for candidates participating at the 2020 and beyond examination.
If we do not face the difficulty today, we are sentencing these boys and girls to a future that will be bleaker than our own.
And this is what that decision is generating, as candidates rush to get the national identification number before the commencement of registration this January, with more than 1,000 registration centers across the country undertaking the exercise. This center, located at NIMC's national headquarters, has 2 points that can handle more than 20 candidates at a stretch.
It's okay. My education comes first for now.
The rush notwithstanding, the exercise has been seamless. Even 21-year-old visually impaired Edoja Samuel, who wants to study special education, had a smooth process, as provision has been made for people with special needs as well.
It's less than 5 minutes. I want to help those that are visually impaired.
Since stopping multiple registrations and writing by proxy are some of the reasons for the national identification number for the exams, what is this youth corps member, Joy John, a graduate of anatomy from Delta State University, doing here then?
I want to go back for medicine, so that's why I came here to register.
Despite the funding challenge the National Identity Commission says is impeding its operations, more than 50% of would-be UTME candidates have been captured, and all other candidates will be captured before the end of the scheduled date for JAMB registration.
In the spirit of the collaboration, we have given instruction that priority should be given strictly to JAMB and direct entry students who will be writing examination to register in all our enrollment centers. We had to also sit and provide contingency plans to address this upsurge.
What we did is to sit down and map these centers so that applicants will be moved from the JAMB offices to the nearest NIMC offices.
It is assurances like this that prospective candidates like Samuel wants to hear as they strive to meet the requirement that will set them on the path of their next level of education pursuit. Olainka Uju, NTA News.
And all the very best to the candidates there. Now you're watching news on NTA International. We'll take a break now. More news when we return. Thanks for staying with NTA International. Now, Boa Cement Company PLC has listed by introduction 33.9 billion naira shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange at 35 naira per share. Managing Director Boa Cement Company Yusuf Bingi, while sounding the closing gong, said the company will increase its production capacity to 6 million metric tons in 2020. Abolade Salami completes the report.
Company with 2 cement plants in the country in 2019 improved its production capacity to hit over 4.5 million metric tons, which represents about 20% of the national demand. The fast-growing cement company in Nigeria, in an avenue to create an opportunity for investors to invest their capital in the company, has listed by introduction 33.9 billion naira shares at 35 naira per share.
Decided to take a giant step to come into the market at this time. So as of today, you know, we are the third largest company on the floors of the exchange by market capitalization, and that is really going to add a lot of value to the shareholders and also to Nigerians as a whole.
With Sokoto and Obu plants operating in high capacity, as well as the second production line in Edo State, Boa Cement Company has one of the best capacity utilization of factories in Nigeria, operating at 85%.
In 2020, we are expecting to do close to 6 million tons. The two combined entities, I think by the time we release our results, after they are audited, you will see we have had a combined turnover of over 180 billion naira.
The cement company assured shareholders of maintaining standard in cement production and penetrate the market to drive a positive performance. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Thank you, Abolade. Now, the President, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, has reiterated the need to support the present administration in tackling security challenges for sustainable development in the country. The CAN President reiterated this at the 65th TECAN General Assembly holding in Kaduna. Ahmad Umar Kudan reports.
A guard salute to welcome the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria to the 65th General Assembly of the Fellowship of United Churches of Christ in Nigeria. More than 300 delegates from 16 denominations converge on Kaduna for the General Assembly. CAN President urged the delegates to focus on issues that will foster unity among the churches. On the state of the nation, the CAN President expressed concern over the security challenges facing the country, emphasizing the need for collective effort at tackling them.
I call to all Nigerians, especially the Christians that are under my constituency, to give peace a chance, to be tolerant, and to be more prayerful, because God answers prayer, to maintain peace with our neighbors.
Participants at the assembly are expected to discuss issues that will promote harmony and development of the nation.
We expect to engage the world in a more godly, in a more sincere manner for the sake of peace and the unity and progress of the nation.
The conference ends on Sunday In Kaduna, Ahmad Umar Kudan, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Customs Service generated the sum of 1.4 trillion naira in the year 2019. The amount generated is over the target of 937 billion naira set for the year, Commenting on this feat, the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, described it as a result of resolute pursuit of what is right rather than being populist by compromising national interest on the altar of individual or group interests. A statement by the Service Deputy Comptroller and Public Relations Officer Joseph Atta said the service revenue generation profile has continued to be on the rise annually as the ongoing reforms insist on strategic deployment of officers strictly using the standard operating procedure and strict enforcement of extant guidelines by the Tariff and Trade Department. The statement says the partial border closure, which has forced cargoes that could have been smuggled through the porous borders to come through the sea and airports, raised revenue collection from ports. It adds that before the commencement of the border drill on 20th August 2019, revenue generation was between 4 billion and 5 billion naira. But now the service generates between 5 billion and 7 billion naira daily. The Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has rejected and condemned what it describes as insidious insinuations by Colonel Eben Barlow, a South African soldier of fortune, which the group says is masquerading as a private military contractor, regarding the commitment of the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to end the decade-long Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast. In a statement highlighting the success of the Nigerian security services in countering the insurgency from 2015 to date, BMO vigorously refutes what it calls the tissues of lies emanating from Barlow in relation to the termination of his contract in the war against Boko Haram. According to the statement signed by Ni Akinsiju and Cassidy Madueke, the resolve of the Buhari administration to further train and upgrade the operational capabilities of the Nigerian armed forces was the key reason for ending the inherited hiring of the mercenaries. Quote, Barlow is deeply frustrated and profoundly displeased because the multi-million-dollar security contract awarded to his company was terminated by the Buhari administration on assumption of office, unquote, the group notes. The Buhari Media Organization says the correct application of resources for the military resulted in the acquisition of the necessary hardware and platforms for waging the war against the Boko Haram insurgency. Meanwhile, as Nigerians peep into the new year with great expectations, the Buhari Media Organization has predicted a rosy 2020 for the country as the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is poised to deliver many key and life-impacting projects to Nigerians, with many legacy projects set to be completed. And on the foreign scene, Iran mistakenly shot down the Ukrainian plane that crashed on Wednesday near Tehran with 176 people on board, U.S. media reports say. U.S. officials also say they believe the Ukrainian international airline Boeing 737-800 was hit by a missile. Ukraine earlier said it was examining whether a missile strike brought down the aircraft, but Iran ruled this out. The crash came just hours after Iran carried out missile strikes on 2 air bases housing U.S. forces in Iraq. And now to sports news.